Aloha, women helping women entrepreneurs. I'm so excited to be here and talk to you about this amazing topic. I'm going to go ahead and share this live stream into my group as well as onto my personal page. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm really thankful to Christina Rowe for holding this amazing space for us women to support each other on our journey of entrepreneurship. My name is Marina, and I'm an intuitive business mentor, and I work with a variety of individuals with a variety of industries. And the approach that I take to service-based businesses is not like what most people have heard before, and that is what I'm here to talk to you about today, is introducing the high-end offer strategy into your business, or as I like to call it, the capstone strategy of building your businesses from top to bottom instead of the bottom up, and what kind of benefits it has for your business, for your family, for your community, for your clients, for everybody involved. So I would like to see how many of you are super excited about this topic, how many of you would love to have these 10K months in your business, how many of you here are service-based entrepreneurs that perhaps have tried so many different strategies and nothing has worked for you over and over and are excited to learn about this strategy. Please go ahead and comment and say hello. Tell me where you are watching from. Tell me if you're excited about learning about this topic. And I can't wait to share with you all of the goodies. So, hi Dila, I just met you and this is crazy, and here you are in my life. So here we are. So I'm so excited. Just a second. Let me see. I wonder if I could share this into my group. It looks like I can't because it's a closed group. That's okay. I'll just hang out with you women here. Yet again, I am so excited for this amazing supportive space that Christina Rowe has built for us, where we can all support each other on this journey of entrepreneurship. That is probably one of the hardest journeys that we would all take. I'm going to turn on my laptop to make sure I don't miss any comments or questions that you may have. Hi Leila, good to see you. Feel free to stop me at any point in time that you may have any questions, thoughts, concerns, or if you would like me to clarify anything, okay? So yet again, a little bit about me. My name is Marina, and I have been doing this business for the last 3 years, full-time for the last year. And since the first month of like full commitment to the business, and after I got exposed to this strategy, I started making average, consistent 10K months. Hi Diane from the Philippines. Amazing. We have a global community here. Hi Leila from Salt Spring Island in British Columbia. Awesome. I love it. We have an international crowd. So awesome. So I started making consistent average 10K months because I finally got introduced to a strategy that has worked for me, right? So you're probably here if you have tried a lot of different strategies, or perhaps you are overwhelmed by how many different ways of business development are out there, and you're like, where do I start? I need to create a website. I need to, hi Heather, Atlanta, Georgia, whoop whoop, about where do I start, about do I need an email list? Thank you, Jacqueline. Yeah, and I'm here to share this with you of how possible it is actually for you. Perhaps you are also confused about all of the tech aspects of like, what do I need to do to actually start this business? Perhaps you have been, you've spent thousands of dollars in coaching and courses, and you're still not receiving the results that you want, and are still not getting paid for your service-based work, the kind of worth and value that you deserve. Hi Yulia, aloha, aloha from Honolulu. I am streaming to you women from Maui. So fellow Hawaii over here, Jacqueline from Toronto. Shakila, I am actually from Chicago too. That is where my family lives. So great to see some familiar geography here. So I'm so excited. You perhaps are also overwhelmed. You're like, I don't even know where to start. There's so much, like, social media is my business oyster, is the entrepreneurial oyster, and I still can't seem to find clients, and like I'm still not receiving the kind of sales that I would like to be receiving, right? So then, and this is partially I'm explaining this because this has partially been my journey too. So I have gone through course after course after course and have learned so many strategies about how to use the proper hashtags on Instagram. Dee Dee from NC, North Carolina. Khadija. Oh my God. I hope I'm not, how do you say your name? Khadija. That is such a beautiful name. And after studying like so many strategies, what I then started going down the rabbit hole of like, what the hell is wrong with me that I cannot make the kind of, yup, good. You keep hearing about, picking a niche, but just baffled as to focus on as health and wellness and everything that falls under the umbrella. Yeah, and a lot of us women, we no longer subscribe by doing business in the traditional business coaching way that has been taught to us. To niche, to create the elevator spiel, to create that ICA, especially for women in business who do deep transformational work and have so many gifts, and you're like, how the fuck do I even market this? Pardon my Russian. I do swear on my lives because I like to keep it fun. I'm going to plug in my phone because my battery is about 15% to make sure I don't lose you women. Heather says she has spent about $14,000 in group courses and still couldn't get a client. Yeah, exactly. Because the traditional, strategies that we get taught that we're supposed to build our businesses from the bottom up. Like, let's go ahead and build our businesses by hustling and grinding and creating authority and building the audience and going out there and sharing our vulnerable stories. And then all you receive is a whole bunch of people who become your biggest fans but are still not buying from you, even though you're brilliant and you have amazing skill sets. But nobody has ever taught you how to go ahead and package them in a way that is super unique. Khadija. All right, awesome. Jacqueline Hill says exactly. So I'm glad this is hitting home. So the next phase of this hamster wheel, especially for those of you women who are, I have a cat rubbing against my leg right now, and it's a neighbor's cat. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I was like, what is that? There's something fluffy against my leg. So then what creates this kind of cacophony in your brain of like, what the hell is wrong with me? So then you start seeking spiritual healers and energy workers who start telling you that you have ancestral trauma, or you're not being masculine enough, or you're not being feminine enough, and that, you perhaps are going to your human design chart, and your human design mentors are telling you that you're not embodying your human design, right? And then it sends you like, okay, then you spend thousands of dollars in the intuitive sector, but you're still not getting the sales. You're like, still, nobody's teaching me. How the hell do I actually be all of that? Be the bright human that I am, and be the catalyst of change that I know I'm here to be, and it's still not happening. Tori says, my gosh, you are on point. Vanessa says, yes, I can relate. It is so frustrating. I feel you, women. So I personally have spent about $15,000 in coaching before I ever saw results myself, up until I had a mentor that showed me this strategy of creating high-ticket offers, which may seem counterintuitive, right? Because you're like, oh my God, how can I charge for this? I don't even know, especially after going through the shit show of feeling like you're not good enough and feeling frustrated, to then being like, oh my God, here goes this cat. Look at this cat. Like, she's never jumped up on me into another tailspin. So I've never had that cat jump on my lap. She hunts my roaches here because Maui and cockroaches are actually pretty common. My space is pretty clean, so don't think that. But cockroaches and bugs are just everywhere here, so that was funny. So yeah, Jacqueline, it brings us into another tailspin. And my next question is, how many of you can relate to this struggle? And it sounds like most of you women have been on the same path, and it's unfortunate because most coaches have missed a very vital part of business development, where most successful businesses go through a research and development stage of extrapolating that one thing that you are really good at, right? So the company that built this water bottle has extrapolated that one thing that they're good at. They research and develop, how do I create a water bottle that's going to keep the water cool and make sure that it's like, you can drop it or whatever. Like, how do I create a quality product? Most business coaches tell you to start over here instead of putting your best foot forward, which I call the capstone strategy, which, I don't know if you all like conspiracy theories or ancient Egypt, but it is theorized that ancient Egyptian pyramids have been built from the capstone down. I can relate to the struggle, probably about 10K in coaching and courses. Yeah, and a lot of the coaches, they miss this very vital part of business development. And I know this may scare you, some of you, like, oh God, more businessy stuff. Let me go ahead and explain a little bit more of what a high ticket and high value offer is, to perhaps like calm some of that for you. But first I want to tell a quick story. I ride horses. How many of you want to hear a quick story that can relate to some of the struggle for you and put it into a little bit of a perspective? I can relate to the struggle. Accurate shit show. Yeah, it is a shit show and it's so unfortunate. And then we get like traumatized by it to the point where some of us end up dropping our business. I end up almost giving up on my business because I was like, what? I feel like I'm brilliant and I still why am I still not getting the results? Tori says, yes, story time. Okay, so I ride horses. I'm an equestrian and I've been riding horses for about 20 years. So I know that I can hold myself in the saddle. And I have had an on and off relationship with horses. Vanessa says she loves horses. Yes, fellow horse girl. I was talking to a sister about this today and not fitting into the structure everyone is teaching. Yeah, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. So, okay, I can hold myself in the saddle, and recently I have come back to riding horses again. Recently I'm like, all right, this is a part of my life. Can you guys tell? I have another horse painting over there. Where I recently came back to my equestrian passions. And my horse trainer, she's like, you have the agility and you have the ability in the saddle. So the first couple lessons of my coming back to horseback riding, she put me on school horses, horses that are pretty bomb-proof and that will not do anything horrible, that are just, very forgiving of any kind of like mistakes that you may have in the saddle. And she asked me to do this one simple sequence in an arena, to ask a horse to canter, and then to go across like a diagonal, kind of like a Z, to the other side. So the horse, I started doing a circle, then like a Z, right? I asked the horse to canter right about here. The horse bucked, and this horse like never really bucks. So I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God. Got terrified, right? Oh my God, I'm about to get bucked off. Then I went around the ring, go over here to this corner, and the horse spooked. And I was like, oh shit, that's it. Like, I'm going to be on the ground. And that's how most of us feel right now, right? We're like, fuck, I think I can do it, but I'm about to get bucked off. Like, what is going on? So the horse trainer comes out into the arena and she's like, halt, stop, just stop everything you're doing. Just stop, take a breath. What is going on here? With the investment that didn't pan out, I felt more and more like there was more vital piece missing for me than other entrepreneurs have. Yeah, you're like, what is missing within me? What kind of product are you interested in creating? Years of work, program ready, challenge done, but crickets. Yeah, so what the hell is missing? So as the horse bucked, I was just like, what the hell? The horse trainer is just like, just stop. Like, you have the ability. You've been riding for 20 years. What the hell just happened? When the horse bucked, what I did, I looked down and I was like checking out where my hands and my legs were. And she's like, what's going on? Like, what happened here? And I said I was too concerned with how I looked in the saddle. I was too concerned about my position and my stance in the saddle. I was too concerned about looking pretty in the saddle, because a lot of English riding is equitation and that's what you're judged upon. And a lot of us women, we feel that way. We're like, what the fuck are other people going to think of us? So she stopped, she halted. She's like, what can you do differently on the next sequence? What can you do differently when you ask for a canter? So I did, and it was sloppier, but I rode the sequence that she asked. Horse did everything possible, and I did the thing. And horse was calm because she started like pinning her ears and getting pissed. Like, what the hell are you doing up there? Do you even know what you're doing? And I obviously do, because on the second go around, the sequence ended up being perfect and smooth. So because I was thinking too much about what the hell I was doing or how I was looking in the saddle rather than being right there. So she's like, Marina, you've got to look at the big picture and you have to ride every stride on the horse that you are on. The reason why I tell this story is because not a single mentor up until now has probably told you and highlighted your brilliance and probably has told you these are the things that you are skillful in, whether they would be learned or innate, And nobody has ever told you these are the things that you need to highlight. What you get told instead is everything that you should do, perpetuating the not good enoughness, right? But nobody has ever told you, hey, your leg looks awesome in the saddle. Your butt is exactly where it needs to be. Your hands are on the reins. You're doing great. And you need to ride this horse right now. Can you graduate to other horses as you become more and more familiar with this one? Absolutely. Are the rules going to apply in the same way as you graduate to other horses? No, not necessarily. But for this horse in this point in time, your presence and your skills can help you make that ride without it being a shit show and the horse bucking, right? So at that point in time, I was actually perfectly matched to this horse. So how does this relate to high ticket offers? Okay, so our ability to create money does not depend on the things that we have no clue about, but rather highlighting our expertise and our already made brilliance and packaging that up in a unique way. The biggest difference between a lower end offer and a high value offer is where you package up both your learned skills and especially your innate skills. Like the things that people come up to you and tell you, like, how did you just do that within like 2 minutes? Like, how did you just like create the whole spreadsheet for the entire like year-end sales report within a matter of 2 minutes? And to you, it's just like, yeah, whatever, I just totally got it done. To somebody else, that might be like, dude, that is gonna make my brain explode. Right? So we don't see our own brilliance because it's never been reflected to us. So the first time a mentor has actually reflected that and then took that and created an amazing product from that stance is when I started finally seeing results. So basically what we took was a collection of everything that I was already good at, whether it be learned from courses, whether it would be, even if it is my human design, even if it is my astrological propensities, even if it is, my ability to channel people's essence and my intuitive knowledge that I was so afraid to come out of my witch's closet. We packaged that in there too, right? And it has created something so unique, like Nike shoes, right? All they made was shoes before they went into the clothing sector. Is this making sense for all of you? Do you have any questions thus far? And by the way, I am going to do a free 5-day live event in my group that I'm going to go ahead and place the link here. It's absolutely free. It starts on Monday on the full moon or on the new moon, where I go through step by step all the mindset shifts that you need to go through in order to start creating high-end offers. What needs to be in there, what doesn't, what is the difference in sales and marketing. But the rest of the time I want to spend to just kind of expose you to the possibility and why it is actually in your business's best interest to invoke this strategy right now, no matter where you are in a business, whether or not you're just starting out or whether or not you have been in business for a while. The strategy of incorporating high-end offers is in your businesses, in your clients, in your communities, and in the global best interest. And here is why. I'm going to go through this kind of point by point. Okay, so I call it the capstone strategy, like I said. This makes so much more sense, or this makes so much sense. Vanessa says, Gaki? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Feel free to phonetically spell it out. So the first point of the capstone strategy, it allows you to scale your business from the top bottom instead of like bottom up, instead of trying to get the email list, build your audience, all, etc. Because a high ticket offer, and when I say high ticket offer, I mean 4 figures and beyond. So anything beyond the $999 or $1,000. What, as far as pricing, that's irrelevant. When I speak of high-end and high-value offers, what I'm referring to is how valuable it is to the client. Because say, for instance, if you do accounting, if you do website design, and you are also an epic tarot reader, imagine if your client is just starting in business and he needs accounting, and he doesn't know what his projected sales are, and he doesn't know which direction the company is going to go. If you package all of those up in a high value offer, imagine just how much more of a transformation that individual is going to have. And imagine if they were to go ahead and go piece that together elsewhere, by going to a separate accountant, a separate website designer, and a separate tarot reader or another healer, right? And this is just like a random example. Obviously, it's going to look a lot different if you are more of a transformational healer. Say, for instance, you do astrology readings and human design, and you're an intuitive psychic medium. Imagine just how much healing one person can go through. Hold on, I gotta plug in my phone. Just a second. Sorry, ladies. I want to make sure I don't lose the broadcast here. Okay, we're still here. Perfect. What I was saying is, imagine just how much more of a transformation an individual may go through if all of these packaged gifts that you offer are offered in one offer. And this is what I mean when I say high-end or a high-ticket offer. Okay, so just so that you have that distinction. Pricing is irrelevant, but when you start creating that, you will start to see just how much it's worth. And when you start selling and having those conversations with your prospects, they will see it too. And a lot of you may not realize that it's actually a lot easier to sell a higher ticket offer, because when you create this kind of journey for your prospects, it's a no-brainer for them. They'll be like, yeah, okay, cool, sign me up. Oh my God, I have it all in one package right here, right now. Perfect, right? So is this making sense to all of you? Sorry about the little electrical stuff. Apparently my charger was not plugged in, but my phone was. So there we have it. I'm not perfect. And yes, I sell high-end offers. So the capstone strategy, like I said, allows you to start scaling your business from the top bottom so that you don't have to have a lot of websites, a lot of overhead. You just need one client, or a handful for that matter, to start covering your business expenses from the start, which then allows you to scale sustainably because you get some cash flow into your business, creating some revenue to then start gaining momentum without feeling like a shit show all at once. And then you have so much more clarity, because when you start to create these experiences for people, you start to be able to see the consistencies in your work, where it makes it a lot easier for you to speak about when you start creating evergreens and courses. I really didn't get my money's worth out of any coach selling the idea of high ticket offer or designing a product, plus none of them has given me enough one-on-one. Then that might not be a really well-made high-end offer. The thing about high ticket offers, Rebecca, is the whole notion of it, especially if you're highly ethical and virtuous and if you're in integrity, the whole point of creating a high ticket offer is to make sure that every step of the way not only highlights everything that you're already good at, but you also know, and that you know that the client is going to get results at the end of the offer. So whoever has created a high ticket offer and sold it to you probably has not gone through the offer creation process that I teach my clients, because a lot of the offer creation process that I teach is very much based on the prospect first. It's not necessarily based on like, oh my God, let's just put a 6K like sticker shock on there and just go ahead. It's going to be this many Zoom calls and like, yeah. And that's unfortunately how most people go about it, which is, like I said, most coaches miss this aspect of developing a product. Okay? Bookmarking this great info. I'm so glad. Is this making sense for you, Rebecca? And I'm sorry that you had that experience. A lot of people have, and have invested into one-on-one coaches and potentially have not gotten their money's worth because their coaches didn't do the coaching industry justice by putting the concept first. Why be a coach if you don't want to give results? Tori, this is actually a common disease and sickness in the industry, where a lot of people come in because they get blindsided by the idea of like, oh, quick money and blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh, because it's being sold to them as a lifestyle instead of the kind of work that it takes and personal accountability that it takes for you as a facilitator. This is valuable. I'm so glad. Lindsay Leela says exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So whenever you're researching and developing a product, most of my clients gripe about this because I take them through a quite extensive market research process and understanding the prospect. The thing about high ticket offers, not every prospect is going to be your ideal prospect for it. However, I didn't mention ideal client avatar because as many people as there are on the planet, that's how many avatars there are. So that doesn't work, right? When you look at a person and their propensities and how your gifts may complement them, that is when you make a high value offer. If somebody has a genius that is in accounting and your genius is in intuitive reading and they want to take their direction of a company into a big, expansive global venture, you as an intuitive reader have a genius that can complement theirs that is not being filled by any other coach that they have received so far. Does this make sense? So when you take that person as they are and the kind of genius that they have and take a look at your innate skills and your innate, I just like the idea of avatars. I don't like putting people in boxes, right? They were big shot kind of guru coaches, so they just took the money but didn't give time. Yeah, and a lot of people get power hungry, and this is the disease within the coaching industry, unfortunately, which is why, like, I'm very much against it. For me, one of the other reasons why I didn't get results originally is because no coach has taken me through the process where I knew that I could ethically look somebody in the eye and be like, that would be $6,000, please. And that I know that I have designed everything in my end and that I have thought about everything on their end and that I have evaluated that, hey, my gifts and my expertise and my innate knowledge can in fact help you. Right? And most people miss that. And this is beyond sales. This is beyond sales objections. That's the last thing you need to be thinking about. If you focus on doing a good job, you will never fail. You're the first person that agrees with me on this level. I feel it's textbook marketing style. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. I'm so glad. If you understand somebody well enough, you can make an offer intuitively based on what they need. And yeah, make time to understand them. Exactly. So you can use, and most of you women are so intuitive that you could be making high-end offers left and right. The other thing I must mention in my business, this is full transparency, while I created that original high-ticket offer for a specific propensity of a client, right, that I actually based on real people around me. I'm like, that person would be a great model. That's not an avatar. That's Lindsay sitting over there. What does Lindsay need right now? Let's go ahead and make an offer for that and a step-by-step journey for her, right? She's right. Flow, listen, ask questions. Exactly. So because you're creating the high-end offers from that stance, it allows you to scale back. And this is what I do in my business is after I have developed this system of a higher end offer, it's a lot easier for me to then create custom made offers that while Lindsay may not need the offer creation, the marketing, the market research, the channeling, the healing, she may only need the sales training. So I'm going to create something for her specifically that's going to be a 6-week versus a 12-week program, and I could charge accordingly. And that creates a no niche approach. And that's what I teach my clients. And you can do that. However, you have to go through the legwork first of creating the high ticket offer before you start creating courses, because you see what happens is you start refining your work. So it creates this ease of scalability, right? So the next point is, what does it do for your clients? Obviously, epic transformations. And the thing about epic transformations, you guys, to those of you that are being told you need to establish authority in your field and you're like, I'm just starting out, what the hell? Like, I need to show up and build my audience and establish authority when I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, or so I feel. And you do know what you're doing. You just don't know how to put it together for another person because you haven't seen it in action. But once you start seeing those epic client results, it does automatically establish you as the authority. Because client results are authority. Like, that's what it speaks for itself. How you got them there, does it matter? Did you channel their strategy? Cool. Did you do energy work and sexual healing, or did you give them a sales training? Great. Doesn't matter. You're still the authority and you still got them results. And that's your niche, is the client outcome. Does this make sense? Sorry, I get super passionate about this, can you tell? And then I had to unplug my fan to plug in the charger, so I'm starting to sweat up in here. So excellent client results, because that is what you're creating your offer in mind from the get-go. So after that, and of course it establishes authority naturally, which then creates ease of marketing. And you have a lot more clarity to talk about that because you are all of a sudden authorized to speak about how you and Lindsay went on a sexual healing adventure and then she created a sale, and how you and Bob went on like a strategic workshop and then he created a 5K sale. Doesn't fucking matter. You're still the authority because you still made and created sales for those people, right? Does this make sense for you? Markeisha says, yes, it makes sense. Yes, I love this. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys are loving this. I'm like feeling all of your energy, which is like pumping me up. So the creation of the big kahuna offer allows you to then create lower end offers with ease, which is I already covered that. And traditional business models don't go into scaling from this direction, because then once you have this kind of refinery of your work, and it's been tested, you are going to be so much more confident in putting that into evergreen class. And you're going to be able to sleep at night knowing that whoever takes your evergreen class, they're going to go through the same process that you have taken Lindsay or Bob through, and they're going to get epic results should they put in the work. Obviously, with high ticket offers, it's slightly different though, because they get access to you. This is something we're going to cover in Offer Lab, the free event. I'm going to put in the link again that I'm holding next week. I'm going to go into offer creation and more, all about high ticket offers for 5 days straight. So if any of you are interested, go ahead and click the link. It's going to be a free event. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. And it's going to be in my group. So there's going to be an email link that's going to invite you to my group as well. So just a second, where was I? The ease of scaling and traditional like courses don't cover this. They just kind of, start building a course, put it out there, just put your work out there. And no wonder you're hearing crickets, because that kind of development has not been exposed. It has not been like allowed to brew. It has not been allowed to really take effect, and it has not allowed it to like click into your brain that yes, I am indeed confident and I can do this. What if you have a very small tribe? Rebecca, so I made consistent average 10K months with a group of about 150. Remember that when it comes to selling a high ticket offer, say if your offer is anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, say if it's 5K, right? Then for you to make 10K, it's 2 conversations. Your ability to sell a high ticket offer does not depend on the quantity of people in your network. One of the individuals that I sold a 5K full pay offer to, I met her at a kombucha bar. She was not even she was not even in the online space, but because I went through the market research and the development stage, I understood so well as to the issues that she was going through. And here's the thing, when you start creating an offer for like one person, a lot of people like them start showing up, because all of a sudden you know them in so much more depth. So whenever I started speaking about, hey, I totally get it. A lot of spiritual entrepreneurs have a really hard time packaging up all of what they do, and it creates this kind of like airy-fairy, oh my God, I need to meditate more and get myself out of the body instead of being right here and building your business and riding the stride. She's like, Gwah! She like freaked out. She literally had like an orgasm at the kombucha bar. Not really, but she was like so excited. She's like, I need you. Like, you understand me so well. So your tribe and the size of your tribe, this sounds so dirty. The size of your tribe doesn't matter at all, actually. Audience building is not something I focus on with my clients because I don't feel it's necessary. I'm building my audience right now, but then again, because now I'm launching courses, and now I'm scaling my business in a different way. For the last 10 months-ish to a year, that has not been a concern. Most of the sales that I have made have been from one-on-one conversations, because a sale is a conversation away. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Yeah, and those kinds of things can happen, right? So this is the other point. If you focus on simply being and doing great at the things you're already good at, you're going to be more and more excited about talking about it. So you're going to be like a natural walking billboard everywhere you go. So it doesn't really even matter. It doesn't really even matter if you got your niche perfectly elevator spieled and ICA and whatever the fuck. Because then you start going out into the world and somebody has a problem and you understand their problem so uniquely that they're like, here's 5K. And I used to hear these stories and be like, you're full of shit. And then it happened to me, like these magical clients out of nowhere, because the more you emanate this energy of like, I'm really good at this, and this, and it's in an offer, and I understand you so well because I've spent some time doing market research and developing my epic product. So by the time it comes out of the gates, you have this eminence of energy where you're just so confident because you're like, I have designed something pretty freaking cool that I know you are going to go from point A to point B. I just know that I can get you there. So then your marketing becomes more energetic. Okay, your marketing becomes more confident and you become more magnetic. Is this making sense? And I kind of covered some of these points like throughout your guys' questions. So the refinery of your work throughout allows you to kind of continue the self-feeding mechanism of confidence, where all of a sudden, whenever you go out into the world and start marketing, it's just like, it just comes out of you, because then you start talking to challenges and problems, not elevator spiels or ICAs. I resonate with that so much. Just put my offer together and realized, oh, my offer is me. Oh, Marissa, we gotta talk. So this is kind of a common mistake that people make, is they market to a past version of them. And that doesn't work with a high ticket offer, because a past version of you is just going to keep on being like critical. So the things that you were good at now are still with you, and your specific genius has evolved, and it doesn't necessarily complement you and your ability to go from here to here. Somebody else that has come in, okay, the charging is stopped. I hope I can still continue because we're at 9%. Okay. Somebody else who has completely perhaps opposing or differing energy than you is going to be much more served by your offer than the past version of you. And that's another big coaching mistake that unfortunately just has not worked for most people, because then you're just sitting there talking to yourself in your marketing. I have two totally different niches. One is art and one is life coaching. I do too. I teach people how to develop their psychic abilities, and I teach people how to create offers and sales and marketing for service-based entrepreneurs. So how do you create a product like that? Well, this is something that I teach in my programs, but I'm going to cover it a little bit in Offer Lab. So if any of this is like, you know what, you're speaking my language, feel free to PM me. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop my link. I have a pretty amazing group experience coming up where I'm going to teach you the offer creation from this kind of stance. It doesn't cost you to talk to me. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to me. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my link. Feel free to PM me and ask me questions if this is something that's going to work for your business. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Angelica. So feel free to PM me. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to me. But in the meantime, come join Offer Lab. I'm going to put in Offer Lab, which is a free 5-day event that I'm running in my group, where I go a little bit more into detail about offer creation. But a lot of this, Yulia, it really, I thought I could piece it together myself. I was like, I'm pretty brilliant. But it wasn't up until I, had somebody reflected to me, had somebody who had gifts to be able to see these kinds of things, to be able to help me make an offer. I do firmly believe in proper mentorship, but the mentorship that guides you home to your own talents and not just gives you another strategy. Very valuable. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody else have any more questions? Juanita, you're so welcome. That is the spiel that I have for you for today. I have an epic mastermind coming up on full moon, which is August 3rd. You're going to hear more about this in this group. I'm going to go live probably every Friday now, because why not, and tell you guys all about these high ticket offers. In the meantime, come join Offer Lab. You're going to get a taste of how I work and how this may potentially work for you. It has an access link to my group, so you get to hear some more of my crazy philosophies about how you can apply the non-niche approach to your business, start scaling with ease so that you have a lot more time for your creativity, for your family. Oh, we didn't cover how does this impact the globe, okay? So we're going to end with a big banger. I'm like sweating here, Maui. We're going to end with a big banger. Hold on, let me get a drink of water. So we've covered how it helps you and your business. We've covered how it helps your authority and your positioning. We covered how it helps your sales, how it helps your marketing, how it helps your fulfillment. right? What we didn't cover is how it affects the globe. So it is the mission of my company, Marina Michelle Incorporated, to place more money in the hands of service-based individual businesses, individuals, especially women. The reason being, I am all for the nobody entrepreneur who doesn't have qualifications and is out there kind of like a vendor at a festival selling their sugar scrubs. And they might be $20 versus the $5 one you could get at the grocery store, but you buy it because it's unique. And that's the kind of exchange that we need on the planet right now to remove these systems of control that we've been indentured by, with these coaching systems, with the corporations that keep us small and that keep us from creating the life that we want, that keep us in time constraints and offices, instead of sharing our beautiful gifts and coming out and solving real people's problems, right? If everybody out there started owning their gifts and getting paid for what they're worth and paid for what they want to be worth, right? Imagine just how much more of a liberated world it would be. How much more local economy is going to boost, even though, yes, we're doing it online. How much more the small business is going to benefit, right? So get out there, do some research and development on your specific gifts, especially if you're a service-based entrepreneur, whether or not you're doing bookkeeping, whether or not you're doing website design or transformational healing. I do both. And I'm creating 10K months and sometimes plus, even through COVID and everything like that. So I do hope that this was a breath of fresh air for all of you. I do hope to see all of you in my group in Offer Lab. I'm going to go ahead and put in my group link as well. If any of you who are watching the replay, please feel free to, oops, I put in the wrong link. If any of you watching the replay, please feel free to hashtag replay and ask any questions you may have. I will come back and or answer them. Come join Offer Lab. PM me if this is the way that you want to develop your business, if this is a breath of fresh air for you. And I look forward to speaking with all of you women again. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for putting up with the cat mishap and the technical and the hot. So this just goes to show that you don't need to have a ring light or anything like that or epic photo shoot to come out there and serve powerfully and speak from your heart. So I hope this was inspiring, if nothing else. Much love and aloha to all of you, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Bye, everyone.